But if you've watched basically any of my videos, I've emphasized it quite a lot, and you know that. Once you have your spot, you need to evaluate the compaction and the drainage. I discuss how to do that exactly in this video here, so I'm not going to go in depth in this video that you're watching because redundancy is just no fundancy. No, you can't fire me. Why are you asking that? Get a soil test from a good lab to see where you are on nutrients and organic matter and things like that. I like Logan Labs for my basic tests, but there are several good ones as well that may be closer to you. I also really enjoy the Haney test. Well, again, I'll talk about that later. I don't use the university tests that you can get from like your extension agent really. For our purposes, they don't quite give us a good evaluation of what nutrients are available. They will give you the soil organic matter percentage, which is helpful. If you find that you have really low soil organic matter, which arbitrarily, let's say, is like 3% or less, consider adding a nice nutritional compost before you do any site preparation. As for nutrients, before opening up the soil is where a lot of professional growers will balance their soils under the guidance of an agronomist, using mostly, rock minerals and those sorts of things, because you want to do that in the beginning before your gardens are up and going so that you don't have to work those sort of materials into your soil as the garden is going and risk bringing up weed seeds and ruining soil structure and killing worms and all the things that tillage does. What I personally do is I look for deficiencies, and if grave, I will address those before opening up the soil. Otherwise, I wait for a year to really start thinking about what rock minerals, if any, to apply, because the available nutrients, the pH and the soil organic matter, will all change slightly as you add plants and compost to the mix. So it's important to think about that. Some regions will have pretty common deficiencies and excesses, however, so a soil test is a good place to start. Consult with an agronomist before adding a whole lot of rock minerals or really much of anything. Also, before you open up the soil is a great time to add things like compost, like I mentioned, and activated biochar, if that's your thing, because you will likely, one way or another, be working the soil up a bit, biologically or mechanically. And it may be the last chance you really get to work in some soil goodies. That's the scientific term. If you detected a lot of compaction, then I'm going to recommend either plowing or committing to the broad fork for a few years to break it up. Compaction is just far too detrimental to crop production to simply leave it alone. In most areas,